Coming up on the ultimate ATV News.
A former Pike president is accused of sexual abuse. We'll show you the members' reaction or the lack thereof.
You may have heard of bubble soccer, but not the people putting it on. We'll show you how they're trying to change that.
USU is making changes this summer semester. See what they are and why you might want to enroll.
The Aggies took the field without their star pitcher Noel Johnson on the mound. We'll let you know if they will get it past the Cougar batters.
It's a beautiful, clear day here in Cache Valley, but there's a bit of a breeze. We'll tell you what that's bringing in coming up in weather.
All this and more on this edition of ATV News. I'm actually doing a story on the Pike incident that happened a few weeks ago.
You're also trespassing.
Yes, if you please get off the property.
Yes. Thank you.
Any film that was used right here, well, that would definitely be an issue. We'd have to call a lawyer about that.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you.
Pi Kappa Alpha members threatened to call a lawyer after ATV News tried to ask them about the accusations that one of their own sexually assaulted women in his room. Welcome to ATV News. I'm David Matthew Stewart.
And I'm Caroline Peterson. The victim says it happened in a room designated as a safe haven for party goers in no condition to leave. Ryan Ray volunteered to stay sober and keep everyone in the room safe. The story is still developing, but what we do know is that he faces serious charges. Cars go past, but it's what's in the past that looms over this USU fraternity. 26-year-old ex-fraternity president Ryan Ray was arrested last week after a young woman told police that she was at a fraternity when she awoke to find Ray touching her inappropriately. She later realized that she wasn't the only one.
Some of the other females that had overheard it had similar experiences, so they came in together.
According to Budge, Ray admitted to the charges as well as a couple of others they didn't know about before posting a $10,000 bail. We went for a comment at the house. Hi. Yeah, I'm actually doing a story on the Pike incident that happened a few weeks ago.
You're also trespassing.
Yes, if you please get off the property.
Yes. Thank you.
Any film that was used right here, well, that would definitely be an issue. We'd have to call a lawyer about that.
Okay, that's fine. All right, thank you. Things didn't get much better when I tried to contact members electronically. A Pike member told me to email his president. Alex Suval said, "Please direct any questions to bphillips@pikes.org." I contacted Brent Phillips at the national chapter. He responded, "I'll answer questions you provide via email. Thank you for the offer to do a phone interview. However, I respectfully decline." I sent the questions, but I haven't heard back yet. The fraternity isn't talking, but USU students are.
I find that pretty upsetting. I don't think that kind of thing is okay.
People should feel safe to be on campus and to go to activities and events.
The safety of the students should be a bigger concern at that point.
Utah State was able to contact Ray and will hold a hearing to determine what happens next. We just received an email from Pi Kappa Alpha national spokesperson Brent Phillips. He says, upon notice of the charges, the chapter immediately suspended Mr. Ray. Following due process procedures, the chapter expelled Mr. Ray by vote of the members. We're still waiting to see what Utah State will do to Ray's status as a student here.
A 74-year-old pilot is still alive after crashing his plane just outside Newton on Saturday morning. Police say that John Kerr made a hard landing in this field after going on a leisurely flight. The plane's engine sputtered around Trenton and went down before he could make it back to the Logan airport. Despite some damage to the plane's landing gear, undercarriage, and the propeller, Kerr escaped without injury.
Anytime you hard land a plane and walk away from an accident like that, that's pretty lucky.
Multiple people were ejected from their car during a crash Friday because they were not wearing their seatbelts. Troopers marked how far from the vehicle the two passengers landed, one up an embankment, the other into a barbed wire fence. The silver Nissan Xterra was driving southbound on Interstate 15 near milepost 383 when the rear driver's side tire blew out. The driver lost control of the vehicle, hit a guardrail, and rolled down the embankment. The vehicle had 5 people. Only the driver and 2 passengers were wearing seatbelts. The 2 people ejected were in critical condition and flown to McCady Hospital for treatment. The passengers with seatbelts were treated at Bear River Valley Hospital for minor injuries. All of the people in the car were BYU Idaho students traveling to Provo.
Enrollment starts today for the 2015 summer semester, and if you don't like the idea of staying during the break, USU has made some changes that might have you reconsidering. According to the university, you'll only have to pay the registrar about $277 per credit instead of $793 like last year. And you won't have to register for early morning classes because they won't start before 8 a.m. Also, they're not going to be happening on Fridays. Some students say that they might stay because of the new changes.
I love Logan. It's a beautiful spot. You know, there's tons to do on the weekends. Plus, you know, knocking out a few extra credits at a lower rate, it's not a bad deal at all.
I like that no classes start before 8. I have a 7:30 class this semester and it is miserable. But, and also the no Friday classes I like because it is summer and, you know, you want to do fun things.
If you plan to enroll for the fall semester, registration starts on Monday.
For the first time as president, Barack Obama will be visiting Utah. He will be speaking at Hill Air Force Base this Friday about the economy, according to White House spokesman Eric Schultz. President Obama last visited Utah in 2007 when campaigning for the presidency. This will be Obama's first visit as commander-in-chief after Friday. South Dakota will be the last state Obama will have yet to visit as president.
When we come back, see how one motivational speaker is taking a strong stance on the mental health issues.
And what do soccer and bubbles have in common? We'll show you how some students got creative.
Sorry, I've got big ideas.
As a college student, you have big ideas to make a big difference on campus. Why not get funding for those ideas in a big way? The Blue Goes Green Grant provides funding for student sustainability projects. These projects help USU students be more environmentally responsible, live healthier, and save money. To find out more, go to usu.edu/BGG. Get funding for your Blue Goes Green idea in a big way. Blue Goes Green. Make a difference.
Welcome back. A lot of people are joking around about April Fool's Day, but motivational speaker Alexi Jones and many others think mental health is no joke, even on April Fool's Day.
Don't you dare give up on you, on your dreams, because they're possible. And I'm so sorry if you forgot that. And I'm so sorry if someone convinced you that you weren't worth fighting for that.
I Am That Girl is the name of Jones's book and nonprofit organization. You might know her from her appearance on the CBS show Survivor. The TSC ballroom was packed with mostly women to see Jones talk about self-esteem and happiness. She said that because social networks like Facebook show highlights of people's lives, it might make you feel like you're not enough. But she emphasized enough, that you are enough. In spite of the event ending an hour later than expected, the audience stuck around.
I felt like what was shared today was uplifting and insightful in a way that was not cliche. And I connected on a lot of things. And that just made me want to shout out. It made me want to stand up and say, "Me too!"
Part of the awareness campaign included a workshop promoting mental health in the Merrill-Kazir Library today and the mental health fair in the TSC Sunburst Lounge on Thursday.
USU's Latino Student Union took soccer to a whole new level this weekend on the Legacy Fields and on the quad. Our Alicia Facer is live on the quad with the details. Alicia?
Thanks, Caroline. I'm out here on the quad where this weekend students were playing with this. Now, juggling, kicking, and dribbling a soccer ball may seem easy now, but imagine doing it surrounded by a giant inflatable bubble. Makes things a little bit more difficult. Let's take a look and see how students did.
Go! You would think that getting racked would hurt pretty bad, but this thing protects you pretty well.
I've been flying everywhere and all over the field today.
18 teams, 4 games, 2 days, bubble soccer. LSU rented bubbles for more than just a game of soccer.
The biggest thing was just bring awareness to Latino Student Union because most of the kids here don't even know that we exist.
20 minutes per game may not seem like a long time, but in a bubble, it can get hot.
Just because it's so exhausting to be in these things, especially with the sun, it's just really hard to keep up with it.
It's pretty funny, you lose your sense of everything for a split second, and then once your feet hit the ground, you remember where you are and what you're doing.
In regular soccer, you wear shin guards for protection, but in bubble soccer, you use this. And they don't just go for your feet, they go for the bubble.
It's just people are just running into each other like a sumo wrestler, and then you try to kick the ball whenever you can see it, but most of the time you're pretty blind.
Seeing wasn't the only challenge of the event. Some of the balls were more than just cloudy.
Making sure that all the balls are good and then that there's no holes, no broken straps, that's something we didn't account for.
Even with broken straps and patches, students were still able to play without a problem. Now, there were prizes at the end of the tournament like t-shirts, and they had gift cards to restaurants like Buffalo Wild Wings, so it was a pretty fun event.
That looks like a lot of fun. Did you try and play at all, Alicia?
I really wanted to, but the bubble was really heavy and hard to hold, so I could barely walk, let alone try and run in one of those things.
I probably would have had the exact same problem, but it looks like a lot of fun. Thanks, Alicia.
After the break, ATV's Anna Thorley will have your Cache Valley weather report.
The current temperature in Logan is a breezy 51 degrees.
Say with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. To motivate some magic, to change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall, and make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change.
Let's go!
To the Batmobile. Dang it.
To the invisible jet!
Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women.
I could use your help.
Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.com.
Welcome back. So, Anna, Easter. It's Easter weekend.
Yes, it is Easter weekend, and it's spring. Spring's in full-fledged. It's really spring, but we still have a little bit of April showers. So, you know, Easter's going to be pretty this weekend, but there might be a little bit of rain mixed in with it. So, first we want to take a look at live outside, and there's a big snowstorm yesterday. It hit us really hard. Just kidding. This is what it actually looks like, and it's pretty beautiful. And as you can see, our Professor Champagne is skateboarding down there. Pretty fun. So if we want to just take a look at the national radar, we'll see how the rest of the nation is doing. If we look down here in Texas and in Oklahoma and up in Missouri, there has been some rainstorms, and they have actually, you know, propelled enough to be flash floods, and there have been some warnings there, so it's pretty dangerous. But as you can see, there's not too much happening here. So if we take a look at the local radar, you'll see that there is some, you know, spots of precipitation, but not a ton. But it will turn into something. So if we take a look at the 7-day, we'll see what the week's going to look like. It's going to be a pretty nice week. We're starting today. It's 51 degrees, beautiful. The low's going down to 30, so it's below freezing, but not too bad. But then we jump into Thursday, and there is going to be a chance of snow. The low's 25. It's below freezing. It's probably not going to stick, though. But as we go into the rest of the week, I fooled you again. I said Easter's on Saturday. It's not. It's on Sunday. April Fools, everybody. But Easter weekend, it's going to be beautiful. But on Sunday through Monday and Tuesday, there is going to be some rain and a little bit of snow. And, you know, the temperatures are going to be nice and fine. But the lows for the, you know, in the evenings, it's going to get pretty low. It's going to get a little chilly, a little bit of moisture. But, you know, overall, it's going to be a pretty nice week. A little wet, but still nice temperatures, not freezing by any means. So hopefully we'll all have a nice Easter weekend, have some nice Easter egg hunts, and, you know, hang out with their families. So
You definitely fooled me. I thought that Easter was on Saturday.
I know. I believed it too. So
when I'm going to be doing the Easter egg hunt. So, Chris, with sports, is there anything this Easter weekend?
Oh, there's all kinds of sports, but looking back at last weekend, it was beautiful as well, and the tennis team is taking advantage of it with some pretty intense games. We'll tell you how it went.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Oh, look, a redhead. Staring contest. You still got it. I know.
Come alive with the forest.
The dad was cute.
You were looking right at us. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Our new head men's basketball coach, Tim Duryea.
I see nothing but great times ahead. It's a tough league,
but we're making the adjustments, and we're going to be somebody to be reckoned with right away next season.
After 14 years as an assistant coach to Stu Morrill, helping him to 331 of Stu's 402 career wins, Tim Duryea earned his promotion and is now looking to make his mark with a team and university that he's already familiar with. We don't know how their coaching styles will differ yet, but we do know that the student section won't have a chantable name like Stu. So let's see if they can do better than Dur. So in case you haven't heard, the Super Bowl winning, underwear modeling, Giselle marrying, Tom Brady is retiring. One of his friends quoted him as saying, "I must be frickin' crazy," as he dives 110 feet to his retirement. After being taken to the hospital, he tweeted, "Taking a huge leap of faith and announcing my retirement from pro football. Hashtag bored with Super Bowls. Hashtag best at life. Hashtag my own business. Hashtag Brady's Bunch Brewery." Well, I guess you can't win them all, Tom. Good luck in the food industry. It is spring football, and the Aggies have some familiar faces returning to the field. You see, Chucky Keaton isn't all that ready for it, and he comes out a bit rusty here. But let's stay positive and say, man, that defensive line is fast. And they played well, but it didn't take Chucky long to shake off the dust as you see that 68-yard beautiful spiral to Hunter Sharp. And then from there, redshirt sophomore Tony Lindsay finishes off the drive with a 5-yard run. And the Aggies have a lot of options right now behind quarterback, as they have 3 different quarterbacks that took snaps in this scrimmage. One of which was not Darryl Garrettson, who will be transferring. So hopefully everything goes smoothly behind center this year. That's not a tennis ball. Okay, you're supposed to throw me the ball. It was a doubleheader weekend for the women's tennis team as they opened up conference play at home. First up is Wyoming, where Mackenzie Davis flexes here a little bit, showing her big-time serve for the ace, getting her match in 2 sets. Callie Sperry is able to finesse this one. Ooh, it's so pretty. For the point, but she still loses in 3 sets. The Cowboys finish off the match in decisive fashion, even though Maggie O'Mara gave it her all. Wyoming took this one with a victory of 5-2.
They're pretty deep. They have a lot of older players, so we knew they were going to be a tough match, and it's disappointing, but it just fuels us for our next conference matches.
Next up was Colorado State, and Davis wasn't kidding about being fired up. Just look at her intensity here as she slams it right back at him. And again, Davis comes up and owns the #1 spot in singles, getting her match in 2 sets. Lexi Turley helped frustrate the Rams and pull out the win in a 5-2 set after losing the doubles point. And you see here, they were so frustrated. You see that?
That's a big strong point for us. And so coming out in singles, it was big to start big and, stay on top of them because they're definitely a mental team. So it was really good to just stay on task the whole time.
Davis earned her 2nd consecutive award as the Mountain West Player of the Week. USU is hoping to add to their momentum as they leave on a 4-game road trip starting Thursday against the 63rd ranked New Mexico. Come on, it's not like you're even trying anymore. This is not a ball. The softball team took the field against the in-state rival BYU. Ali Armendariz takes the mound and finds herself in trouble early in the first with 2 runners in scoring position. And she tries to make the play at home, but the drop gives the Cougars the first run of the game. Armendariz is able to force the grounder here to Jolene Coons, who's able to turn the double and get the Aggies out of the inning until right here you just see the Aggies defensively gave up 12 errors and were absolutely no help to this pitching staff. And the Cougars jumped all over Armendariz from then on out. This 3-run homer by Sydney Broderick and a total of 9 runs within only 3 innings of work, and BYU ran away with it 13-2.
Noel can't throw every inning for us, and we've got to have another pitcher go out, and that's You know, the last two midweeks, we've tried Aaliyah and Jordan, and whether it's conscious or unconscious, we don't play the same behind her.
Noelle Johnson will be back on the mound, and there is no telling how much she could be pitching with a conference game Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and a doubleheader Tuesday, and a game on Wednesday.
Sounds
lots
great.
of baseball, lots of softball. I mean, holy cow.
So much of the sports. I'm the worst person to talk to about sports.
You
Sorry,
can't get
everybody.
enough of them, right?
Love them.
When we come back, we'll show you what the word art means to other people besides the known word.
Today, 1 out of every 4 American kids is Hispanic. That means many of the future doctors who will care for us, the engineers who will build our cities, the scientists and entrepreneurs of our country can be your kids. We all know how hard it is for you to send them to college. This is why we want you to know you are not alone. And every day, more people support you to make it happen. Many support you. And the Hispanic Scholarship Fund helps you prepare, plan, and pay for your kids' college education. Learn more at hsf.net.
I'm one unlucky guy. The chance of being involved in a robbery is 1 in 757. The chances of being struck by lightning. 1 in 750,000.
Please fasten your seatbelts for unexpected turbulence.
The chances of being a victim in an airline crash? 1 in 29 million. Hey, could I get some peanuts? The chances of being involved in a car crash are far greater than lightning strikes and plane crashes. And if you are texting while driving, your risk of crash increases 23 times. Now, I may be an unlucky guy, but I don't have to be part of that statistic, and neither do you. Drive responsibly.
Welcome back. Art can be a way of interpreting life. The Kane College of the Arts has a gallery that shows you why some artists find their work interesting. Our Tori Green went there to bring you the story.
If you don't know much about art, this could be the place to learn.
This exhibition was an opportunity for us to look at objects in our collection through the lens of artists who are inspired by science or deal with some type of scientific principles in their work.
The exhibit is more than just pictures and sculptures.
It does a lot to do with nature and science, and I just think it's really interesting and it makes people think, and that's what I love, is people aren't expecting it when they come into the museum.
But they could also mean something special to a little girl who is just 9 years old.
A picture of a head with hair that starts here and wraps around over here. And then it's brown hair with a white face.
One of many things that is interesting about this museum here at Utah State is the Dorothy and Herbert Vogel collection. There were a couple in New York who owned over 2,500 pieces, and they decided that they were going to donate 50 to every state. That was called the 50 Works for 50 States. In fact, if you didn't know, Utah State University Museum holds those pieces for the state of Utah. Interesting.
For a professor of music, art and music go hand in hand.
We are artists. We're given a palette of music and we have to interpret it.
On top of the exhibit being interesting, for Jeffrey Friedley, it made him reminisce.
This place reminds me of a museum I used to go to as a child and high school student in my hometown, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. I really appreciate the eclectic nature of all of this stuff down here.
Tori Green, ATV News.
It looks like there's a lot to see. I'll have to get over there and check it out. Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News.
Catch these stories again at atvnews.com. Right now we're going to leave you with a shot of spring getting sprung. Have a great week.
Good job, that's
to build and stuff. So my plan right now is I'm gonna